What's going on, everybody in YouTube? It is Primetime Fitz. We are back. Oh, looks like we're kind of laggy. Let me know in the comments if we end up being really laggy. Let me know. I'll see what I can do to try and fix it. Hopefully we can fix it. But so we have some people that are already in the chat. We got Timmy Turbo. Timmy Turbo is always usually end up being the first one in the chat every time. Way to go, Timmy. Before you ask my pick, I think it's going to be the Eagles, the Bengals. I'm sorry, Sean, but I have to go with my wallet. Damn, man. I understand, though. But I'm not going to go with my wallet. I'm going with Bang Bang, Niner Gang. So it's looking a little laggy on my end. I want to see anybody over in the chat. Are you guys, is it getting kind of laggy or is everything good? Peg Leg says nothing to fix. Okay, good deal. Let's see. Oops, I forgot. Sorry, Timmy. Forgot to click on yours. My bad. But Fitz, first and foremost, congratulations on the Niners win. They are now my pick for the Super Bowl champions. I think so too. I'm really hoping that the Niners are going to pull this off. But we've been this far. We've been this far before in the playoffs. It's happened last year. I mean, heck, we've even went all the way to the Super Bowl and we played the Chiefs, but then apparently we decided that we didn't want to show up because, I mean, we did not have the best game at all when it came to that. So, I mean, that was not fun to watch that. That was very agonizing. But the way that, and a lot of people are saying the same things. A lot of people are saying the same things, that the divisional rounds, the championships that are coming up this weekend, the NFC Championship is essentially what they're saying who the winner of the Super Bowl is going to be. I think that's pushing the cart a little bit before the horse, but that's the top tier teams. That's the number 1 and number 2 seed that came into the playoffs. So, I mean, that's the numbers would say that is who is going to end up winning the Super Bowl. But we'll go with the AFC first. We got the Bengals, and obviously you can see Justin's not here right now. Justin, hopefully he's going to be here by the end of the live. He had some work stuff that he's taking care of, so hopefully he'll be here and we're good to go. So, first and foremost, AFC Championship. I got to get my train of thought back, man. It's been a long damn day. I'll tell you that right now. But AFC Championship game, and I'm going to be talking to YouTube. I'm going to be talking to Facebook. That way you guys don't end up being upset with each other. But so I'm thinking with the AFC Championship, we have the Chiefs and the Bengals. This is going to be a really close game, I think. The thing is, with Burrow, it's not the fact that he's not untested, but he's the second time of him really being in the playoffs. This is a way really for him to challenge himself. But this guy the Bengals have, I will say this is the Chiefs' game to lose. Because the thing is that the Chiefs go in here thinking that they're just going to run over the Bengals. It's not going to be a good deal. that's not the way that the Bengals season has gone. But also the Chiefs we have some injuries. We have also the fact that Kelsey is showing that he is questionable for the championship, which if that ends up coming to fruition, if he doesn't end up playing, with Travis Kelsey doesn't end up playing, that is a huge blow to the Chiefs. That's the connection. You got Mahomes and you got Travis Kelsey. Those two are usually the ones that end up linking up together. That's going to be extremely interesting if that's actually ends up what happens. We also have injuries with Patrick Mahomes with that high ankle sprain. He's been active in practice all week. From what I was seeing on some of the videos of the recaps of the practice, he wasn't really limping all that much, but he was taped up. I don't know if he's masking it because obviously we're not the only ones that are watching these tapes. The Bengals are sure as hell going to be watching these tapes. And the thing is, the Bengals, if that Bengals defense smells blood in the water, is done because they're going to be targeting that leg. But we'll see how that ends up going. If he ends up being, because obviously he's not going to be 100%. There's no way that he's going to be 100% a week after a high ankle sprain to where he was taped up so bad he couldn't even really put pressure on. He was hobbling around on every pitch, every pass, everything. So, I mean, and the fact that Travis Kelce might not be playing in the championship, but honestly, I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean, yes, you have an injury, right? The thing is, though, are you just going to sit on the sideline and just assume that the Chiefs are going to win without you? Because I'm like, I don't think that's how that's going to go. But my pick when it comes to that, I'll ask Justin his pick whenever if he ends up coming in. I'm going to go with I want the Bengals. I want the Bengals to go in there and beat the Chiefs. I think that they're going to. Like I said before, though, this is the Chiefs' game to lose. But I think the Bengals are going to go in there. You have the Chiefs that are being riddled with their two main guys are injured, but one potentially not even playing. That is, I think, is going to end up being a main deciding factor. And I think it's going to be a really close game, but I think the Bengals end up pulling it out. Let's see on here. Nothing to fix. Okay. Peg Leg was rooting for the Cowboys too. Well, we know how that went. I bet you that hurt your pocket just a little bit. Eagles and Bengals. Damn, man. Damn, cornbread. I don't know, man. Obviously, I'm on your side when it came to the Bengals, but I am not on your side when it comes to the Niners losing to the Eagles. I just don't think it's going to happen. I really think the Bengals will win it all. I don't know. Regardless of whether or not it ends up being the Niners or the Eagles, obviously it's going to be one of those two. Those teams are going to be hard for the Bengals to beat. You're talking about the 1 or 2 seed. Like that's going to be a hard game. I think honestly, like I was saying before, whoever ends up winning that NFC championship is going to end up winning the Super Bowl. There's too many strong points on both sides. I mean, look at the game on the NFC side is so evenly matched that this is going to be a damn good game. You're talking about the number 1 defense. You're talking about going against the number 1 offense. It's going to be a test of both of these football clubs, both of these guys. Like that's going to be a test of the defense. It's going to be a test for the Philadelphia Eagles offense. It's going to be interesting. But I am not on your side, Cornbread. I am sorry, I am not. But it's nice to know that you can change your name now. I'm sure that over on Unapologetic, I'm sure that Dirty's going to love actually reading a name that hasn't been what you've been putting. I think it's going to be great. Timmy Turbo, yep, there we go. I'm just glad Kaepernick isn't there to enjoy the Niners' success. Kaepernick took us quite a way. That we can't take away from what Kaepernick contributed. But Kaepernick has had this issue for the last few years. He has a hard time staying healthy. He has an extremely hard time staying healthy. It is either in the preseason that he gets messed up, or it's in mid-season, or it's in the playoffs. He has a hard time staying healthy. Heck, all the Niners offense had a hard time staying healthy. Thank God that they've stayed healthy since basically in that whole 10 streak run that we've had so far. 11. But man, but I think that even if Kaepernick would have been 100%, in which he's not showing he didn't even have a practice. There's no way that he's going to be in this game. I don't see the Niners. I don't see Kyle Shanahan putting in Colin Kaepernick over Purdy whenever Purdy has had the success of what he has. I don't see it happening. If Kaepernick was healthy, but obviously we know that he's not. I felt bad for Kaepernick because as soon as he fell out, Purdy picked it up and ran with it. No one really expected Purdy to do what he's been doing. This is uncharted territory. I've never seen a rookie quarterback, a rookie third string, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick of the draft, be able to pick up and run after two of our quarterbacks went down and pick it up and run with it like he has, and really playing like a veteran quarterback. I've been extremely impressed with how Purdy is basically he's been pushing this team. And they're saying that even the guys, they're saying that Purdy is showing the poise and the maturity of a seasoned quarterback that he isn't, but a seasoned quarterback. He's being a leader in the locker room, which is awesome. I mean, it's awesome. I think it's great, but I mean, that's crazy to think that he is the leader of what he is and only been playing essentially 11 games, but hasn't lost one yet. Knock on wood. But man, but let's get caught up on some of these other comments. Do you think Andy can't pull a strategy if Mahomes can't finish the game? I don't think so. Because, well, their backup did charge down the field and go straight for a touchdown. That did happen. So, I mean, you have a quarterback that is fairly decent, that is sitting in that jump seat, and he is seasoned. He's a veteran quarterback, but he's not really, I don't think he's really playoff tested. But do you think Andy could pull out a strategy if Mahomes can't finish the game? I do not think he can, especially if Kelsey is not playing. If Kelsey was playing, maybe there's some kind of link between the backup quarterback and him, but Kelsey is their number one go-to. He's there. Essentially, he is their George Kittle, or he is their Deebo Samuel. Like that is what that comparison is to the Niners. That's a big blow. And I whenever I saw that, I was like, uh-oh, I know that probably some Chiefs fans, especially all around Prime, all around Springfield, I think they're sweating. I really do. Let's get further on here. Cornbread says, "The Bears." Yeah, the Bears are not in the playoffs. The Bears are watching at home. Let's see here. I wanted Buffalo, but the Bengals just looked ready, looked really good against them. But I will look at the numbers when it gets closer. It's pretty close. I mean, they're going to have a walkthrough essentially tomorrow, but I mean, I think the numbers are there. I don't see, unless Travis Kelce shows as inactive, I don't see those numbers really big time changing anymore. Let's see if we can't go to the sports book and let's see what the over under is on this. So let's see. AFC Championship game. Let's see. Oh, wow. So, wow. They are showing right now of the Bengals being +1. Like I said, I see this game being very, very close, but I think that this is let's see, Cincinnati became as heavy as 2.5 point favorite on Tuesday. Wednesday morning brought us our first line movement in Kansas City's favor. Though as of Thursday afternoon, all sports books are back to listing the Chiefs as the favorites. Some sports books are even returned to KC as 1-5. But they're showing them as They're showing him as +1. That I think that that is a representation of them having the questionability about Travis Kelce possibly not playing. I think that's the main deal here. Let's see. Uh, duh, 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 duh. Duh, 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 duh. Man, everybody's showing that some people are thinking KC, but it's different sports books are showing different odds. But it's so damn close. Man, I think if, like I said, Kelce is a major contributing factor. I think that is what's dragging this down. But it's going to be interesting. Now let's talk about. We already talked about what my pick is. I'm picking the Bengals. I'm picking the Bengals over the Chiefs because I don't like the Chiefs. The thing is, I'm hoping that the Niners can get past the Eagles. My biggest thing is I don't want to play the Chiefs. We played the Chiefs before and we didn't show up and we lost. I don't want to play the Chiefs. Let's see. Oh, what's going on, Tim? How you doing, man? But we're talking about our picks for football for the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship game. Obviously, I'm going with the Niners for the NFC. You guys, let me know what your picks are over here on Facebook. Anyway, so let's talk about. Let's see. The Niners win the trophy, and Kyle goes to. Really? Yeah, no. Kyle is not going anywhere. I'll talk next to you so you can bounce ideas off him. That's imaginary. I really think it's under. Bengals and under. Anyway, let's see. Let's talk about the NFC Championship game. NFC Championship game. We have San Francisco versus the Eagles in Philadelphia. This is another going to be a really tight game. You're talking about the number one defense going against the number one offense. This is a clash. Like, this is going to be a damn good game. I'm gonna go with the Niners because the Niners are on such a roll right now. We have too many weapons. We got Purdy's just Purdy. Like that's just what it is. We got Deebo Samuel, which Deebo Samuel was showing that he's ready that he's going to be playing. We got George Kittle. George Kittle is that go-to dude. And like the thing is, if you don't go to Kittle, you got Deebo. So I mean, Deebo has been so there's been so many different positions of what he's been playing. Like, he's basically turned himself into a running back on a lot of those on all those jet routes. Those have been really fun to watch. It is hard to stop Deebo. But the thing is, you also have a clutch player in George Kittle. George Kittle across the middle. If the Eagles can stop that across the middle toss that Purdy has usually been doing with George Kittle, that is going to be a deciding factor on how if they can actually end up winning this game or at least shut down that particular part of the offense. That's one of the things with why I think the Cowboys game was so close. I think the Cowboys game was so close was because, one, I think the Niners underestimated how good the Cowboys were playing at that time, and we really didn't play up to our potential. But the Cowboys had something with the umbrella coverage that they had over the middle. It prevented a lot of the over-the-middle passes of what's made San Francisco so successful. You're talking about that middle ground that they essentially put an extra, basically just an umbrella across there to where they basically shut down the middle part of the field. We couldn't complete a pass the way that what we normally do. If we're going to do anything And we have the highest completion across the middle on these slant routes. That's where our highest completion is. That's the way that what we can actually we're putting our points ahead. That's where we've been beating everybody. If you stop that, then you're having to rely primarily on Debo. Or if Kittle does an outside, that's also a possibility. I know he did that against the Cowboys, throw against towards the sideline, and he was able to run it out. Then that whole bobble, that was a hell of a catch. But I do have to ask this, and I know there's some Cowboys fans that are in here. What the hell was that last play? I mean, I've never seen anything like that, man. I don't know what the hell that play was. You had linemen that were lining up in the wide receiver spot. What the fuck? And that obviously it was shut down that quick. And I think I know what they were going for was that basically a quick complete pass across the middle, which is what they did. And then they're going to try to do the whole lateral, the whole Michigan State deal, that whole Michigan deal of going all the way down the field with the laterals. I see what they were trying to do, but that got shut. It didn't even look like they were ready for that. It got shut down really flipping quick. Man, I just sit there stunned because I was over here watching it with Justin, and we were just, the fuck was that? We really thought that they were just going to try to air it out, but that was just, that was poop. Like that was that was the best way of what I can put it. That was just nasty. Let's see. Timmy Turbo is saying Eagles and over. Timmy Turbo also said, wouldn't surprise me if it's a 70-point game. This is supposed to be a very high-scoring game. Excuse me. The Eagles are showing as the number one offense when it comes to points per game. But then also the thing is, too, the Niners defense is the number one in points allowed per game. So the thing is, we're in a way. So this is going to be, I'm telling you, this is going to be a huge clash. And from what I've been seeing on all these, on the sports shows, this is essentially the Super Bowl. They're saying the NFC Championship game is going to be what the Super Bowl is. Whoever wins that NFC Championship, they're saying that they're going to take it all, which I can kind of see that. Because, I mean, if the Niners go against the Bengals, I see the Niners winning. If the Eagles go against the Bengals, I see Jalen Hurts just going off. I think he's going to run all over that freaking Bengals defense, and I think that it's just not going to be a good day. But, I mean, crazier things have happened. But I'm really hoping, knock on wood, that those Niners, I want a championship, man. I want a championship, and not just an NFC championship. I want a Super Bowl. It is our time. It is Kyle Shanahan's time to get that Super Bowl win. I think that we've put in our dues. We have built that team. Man, it's time for the Niners to get a Super Bowl. It really is. I'm tired of this whole team of the 80s crap. I need the Niners to win a Super Bowl, man. Make it my year. Please let the Niners win a Super Bowl. Anyway, let's see. And you guys can go do your own research as well. Let's see what they're saying. The odds for the Niners and Eagles game. Mm-hmm. Oh, let's see. I think they're showing the Niners by 2.5. This is going to be This is going to be a very, very stressful game. I really don't want to go to work the next day because, I mean, I'm going to be mentally exhausted. I know I whether or not the Niners win, which obviously I'm hoping that they will, is going to be a long flipping night. Um, Niners are deep in both sides of the ball. They are great with a ground and pound and great mind and lean range in the air game. They do, but the thing is, Purdy has been having some issues hitting the long ball on anybody else but Debo. Brandon Ayuk, he's been doing slant routes and he's been able to complete fairly well. But I really haven't seen anything that you're really. Debo is really, he's getting more yards after the catch. That's what's really what you're seeing on those long runs. I haven't really seen Purdy just like air it out and let Debo or Ayuk actually catch it. I haven't seen it. Let's see, Cincinnati, KC over 53 points. Huh? For what? You're saying that Cincinnati and Kansas City are going to be in? Or I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So you're saying for the AFC game, it's going to be over 53 points. I think that one's going to be a shootout too. I think that's it. Yeah, I think it could be. But the thing is, too, we also thought the same. It was going to be the same way with the Niners and the Cowboys, and we didn't even get into. We barely got into the double digits. So I mean, it wasn't. I don't know. It was very, very interesting. But those are my picks. I am showing Niners. I'm showing Niners, and I'm showing Bengals in the Super Bowl. That is my pick. That's what I'm staying with. We'll see what Justin's pick is whenever he comes back in, and we'll see what he thinks whenever it comes to that. We will. Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting. But hold on. Anyway, so we're gonna get let's go get away from football for a little bit. This week, though, there is which obviously you guys know before. Me and Justin, we were involved with a paintball team, and we always keep up to date on what the paintball situation is. There is a Rage in the Cage this weekend I want to say that was the first tournament that we actually played was Rage in the Cage, and that was out at kicking paintball down the southwest of Springfield, about what 40 miles or so. But that was our first real big tournament that we actually played in. They're doing it again this weekend. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it to it, man, because this football has got, even though it's only one day, this football has got me going, man. Also, we got some students that I need to put some work into, and because one of them is going to be testing out on the first. Let's see here. So Prime is in trouble with PC. I knew this was going to come up. Prime, yeah. So I'm thinking that whenever it came, we had an audit not too long ago, a federal audit, and I think that a lot of people ended up being hemmed up when it came to personal conveyance because they were using it improperly. But the thing is, now with Prime taking or basically having to call to request personal conveyance, I think that you're running on it's a really iffy plane there. Because I mean, the thing is, like per FMCSA, I don't believe that you can actually restrict personal conveyance. You can't take it away. And it's making it to where you have to call in and request, call into logs, tell them what you're going to be doing before they even give you the option to be able to PC. So, I mean, I think that, and at the end of the day, I understand what they're doing. They're trying to protect the driver. That's what they normally do. They're going to protect the driver, which in all actuality, it helps protect their own interests. Because those drivers are their interests. It's what makes Prime money. but the limiting of the PC deal, like that I think that's some really iffy water to be treading in. Man, I don't. I didn't use. I don't believe I've used PC to the letter. Um, but there's been a lot of people that I guess have been using PC improperly, like PCing for like 2 or 3 hours away from a location. Now you can use PC in order to kind of find like a safe haven. So a safe haven is basically safe parking, and you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to find safe parking in order to, so you don't have to worry about, your clock being delinquent. Because the thing is, and when we're at a lot of these shippers and receivers, they tend to hold us there sometimes longer than what we should. We should be held there. So they'll hold us there. So our clock ends up being depleted. So we have to find a way to actually be able to go somewhere without actually being in a log violation. But some people had been screwing up. With, apparently they would PC for like 3 hours and to go to a truck stop, saying that all the other truck stops didn't have parking, which I don't think I think that's pushing it. But at the end of the day, that's what they're doing. They're trying to help the drivers. I understand what they're doing. I think that eventually we'll get back to where you're able to select PC off the Qualcomm. And I think we actually had a good little thing going to where you use it until basically you screw yourself over and it gets taken away from you. That is more understandable than just, hey, we're going to limit it. I think that's just a little bit of But also what I saw today, because I went over to Prime East, we have almost all of our internationals that are over there just lined up. Like, it's now a lot of them, from what I've been seeing, a lot of them had been some of them there are the older model internationals, but some of them are newer, which makes me, some of them are 2021s. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I'm thinking, because before the whole truck crisis deal, to where we've been having issues getting trucks in, we were going to be talking about going away from international. We were going to not necessarily terminate that contract, but we were going to let that contract expire because we'd been having issues. So maybe they're going back to where they're going to be turning all those trucks in, because I don't know. It was just weird to see all those internationals stacked up over at Prime East, which was just really weird, because normally those trucks that got turned in, those would be getting prepped to sell for pedigree. So I mean, that was really odd for me to see that. Says let the dogs out. Yeah, the dogs are behind the door. I'm guessing somebody came to the house. FMCSA needs to put out a clear cut 2 columns used for this and not for this publication. Should shippers and receivers be limited in how long they hold a shipper? I'm guessing you're saying driver. The problem where shippers and receivers, the problem whenever it comes to that is that shippers and receivers are going to hold you long enough to where they can get the product off. Now, that's why we get paid detention. That's why we get paid detention on a lot of these places, because it takes forever for them to unload us. I don't see them limiting to where a shipper receiver can only hold us for so long, because then that's going to cut into, and the reason why a lot of times they end up holding us is that a lot of the product that goes into the back of these trailers have individual PO numbers. And sometimes you have like 50 some odd PO numbers or purchase orders that are in the back of that trailer. So those POs have to be separated to where they can put them into the warehouse. Now, there's also sometimes that you're going to deliver some of these stuff and their warehouse is full. So they're having to try to find a place to put this stuff, which I've seen that with a lot of some of the frozen warehouses, where they have to have a hard time trying to figure out where they're going to be putting a lot of this stuff. I don't see them with the whole shippers and receivers being limited in how long they can hold you. That's really pushing it. I don't think that they would ever really do that. But I think that the whole PC should be this period. As long as you're not advancing your load, then you should be fine. I think that a good way of looking at this is, say, for instance, whenever you go to, hey, Justin's here. We're talking about PC. I'm talking about PC.
That's a big conversation right there, I'm sure.
So, and I'm talking about the, and I think that whenever it comes to, can't do that. I think that whenever it comes to with PC, that the way that, because obviously if you don't,
what's up, Facebook?
Yeah, you're a little sideways. I can't rotate it because I'm in the middle of recording, so it wouldn't let me.
You're fine.
I think that whenever it comes to PC, as long as you're not advancing your load, but I think that once you deliver the load and they are able to take you off the load, then you should be fine. You should be able to PC anywhere where you want to.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and where I was talking about with this is that the whole PC deal that they're limiting, when they start to limit PC, I think that's where you start tapping into FMCSA's realm, because they weren't allowed to take PC away from drivers. So it's a little iffy.
It's a sketchy road, mainly because this has been a big topic. I've seen it on a couple other things on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
At some point, the problem is a lot of you stupid people are not responsible. So
ding ding,
everybody suffers when you're not responsible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, again, like you can look at this and we could say a lot of things. Maybe you're not the person who's doing it. Maybe you're not the person. That's like the whole you're on the test theory thing,
right,
that we're doing, which has been made public by a few people or whatever.
Well, we're not really on the test no more now.
But it's a matter of you have to call your fleet manager for permission to use PC.
Or logs.
You know what I mean? Like, which basically they took it away from you. Like, because that's what you used to, like, so even when they took your PC, you were still able to PC. You had to call logs and ask for permission, though, because I lost it once.
What did you do?
In fairness, like I was on a 34 and I PC'd away from my receiver to try to get my APU fixed. And so by definition, I did not head towards it. And my log auditor was like, "Nene, fluffy." You know what I mean? Like, so I lost it for 30 days, but you're still allowed to use it. You were still allowed to use it. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a matter. And when it comes to that, I think that's where it needs to be. So I think a good alteration to that would be for Prime to put a point status in play.
I think that's a good compromise, because I think that them pulling away PC to an entire fleet, which is what they're doing now. It's everybody now. It's not just the 2 fleets that were involved or the 4 fleets that were involved. It's everybody.
Right.
So now whenever you go to off duty, you can't even select PC. You got to call in order to do it, which I think is going to really piss logs off, because there's going to be a lot of people calling logs.
Right. And that's where, like, I understand what you're trying to do, right? I get it. Like, so many people are using PC out of pocket. Like, there's things you shouldn't be doing, but like they can red flag your trailer to let you know that you are out of your reefer's out of 10. You know what I mean? Like, you get an automated message that says you're in PC, right? So there's got to be a way that they can connect PC and loaded. You know what I mean? Like, so you couldn't use your PC until after you've emptied out,
or if you've
been
taken off of that load.
So,
but you can also use PC.
There's no good way to do it. You know what I mean? Like, but once you've sent out your depart call,
right? You
know what I mean? Like, so there'd be something that alerted your fleet manager and logs saying like you're in PC while under dispatch.
Now
this causes a red flag. Like, hey, what are you doing?
But
hey,
you can also
PC into Walmart, and you got to notate, stupids.
But you can also PC. You can PC if you actually go, if you're loaded. Once you finish getting loaded from an O1 or from a shipper, you're able to PC if you're out of hours, you're able to PC to a safe place to park.
Right.
So the problem was too, is I think that this is actually stemming from, because we were federally audited. We were audited about a few months ago. Fed came in.
As they always do.
And went through all of our stuff, and DOT ended up writing tickets to people because of the stuff of what they had done. They emailed or they mailed them freaking tickets.
Oh, I better watch that.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't think I ever got one, but I don't go to the house all that often.
I have not gotten one yet.
But I think this is what's stemming off of it, because they said primarily a lot of what they were hit on was the unauthorized use of personal conveyance.
But this is where, as truckers, as a community, as a whole, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. Like, the same people that are crying about this and that are the same people that ran 3 logbooks.
These are facts.
That's illegal too, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Now
this load had to get there.
Right.
Well, you should have trip planned better. Like,
facts.
You know what I mean? Like, you should have made Prime aware. Like, there's no way I can, or your company. There's no way I can make this load on time. There's no way I can. You know what I mean? Like. Because at some point, man, when you leave the shipper, right, you're doing your math on it's going to take me this long to get there. Like, there's no in between. You do the actual math and then add an hour or two to it, and that's what it takes for you to get to wherever you're going. You know what I mean? Like, and people are just out of pocket. It's the same reason, and they're the same drivers.
Yep.
That got us kicked out of Walmart.
This is true. Oh, did you see what that's cool? Look at I'm sorry. We're doing something crazy. So cursor.
I saw.
Cursor.
They're connected.
That's fucking weird.
This is how that pre-trip ended up on there, man. Some weird shit like this.
So obviously I'm an Apple freaking person. Like, all of my shit ends up being Apple. So I'm moving my cursor from my Mac on the screen, and when I move it over to the left, it ends up being the cursor on my iPad, which is just over here to the right of my.
It's too right.
I gotta swipe left though. See.
What the fuck?
I can't go to the right.
What's wrong with your shit?
It's got to go left, and then it goes into here.
I thought that was a cool thing, man. It's stupid now.
No, it's stupid.
You gotta go. It's a backing mouse. You gotta go left to go right.
This is truck driving, man. It knows what I am. But yeah, that's what it is. It is what it is. But so we already
fair way. There's got to be a fairer way instead of punishing everybody, though.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I think if you exceed, no matter what you're doing, if you exceed, because how many people will drive over their logs and be like, oh, well, once you violate, you violate. So they violate by 3 hours instead of like the 10 minutes.
Well, see, that's the other thing too, is like you're fucking PCing for like 3 hours to a fucking.
That's a violation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so if you get too many of those, you're going to lose your, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to call in for PC usage. If you know what I mean? Like, once your CSA score or your log score gets to a certain point, we're taking your PC from you.
I think this is like almost like Prime's on probation. They have to be good boys because they're on probation.
But even with the FMCSA writing the tickets, they don't have the right to take it away from us. You mean like
it isn't their own, yeah.
And you have to, whenever something has happened, you have to show discipline. You know what I mean? Like, so this is Prime showing discipline at the end of the day. I think it's a trial and error basis. I think it's let's see how this goes. Like you said, logs is going to get overwhelmed. Yeah. Dispatch is going to get overwhelmed. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we're fielding phone calls for PC, and Prime's going to be like, you know what? This is dumb. We need to figure out something else.
They'll have their own PC department, which just says all kinds of different things. Maybe Brooke Mosley could head it. So everything gets linked into the PC side. Yeah. But kind of jumping over to football, because we already talked about football. Yeah, football was
had a pretty good record last week.
You did. Football like basically took over the beginning of the live. So AFC, NFC. We'll start off with AFC. I see. Because Travis Kelce is a possibility he's not playing. He's injured. Yeah. And also Mahomes having that high ankle sprain, which in practice, he's showing that everything is fine. He's showing that he's not limping. Bro. But honestly, I think he's shadowing it, because the thing is, he knows that we're not the only people that fucking watch those videos.
Did you see him leaving? Did you see the video of the dude from KC that videoed his foot leaving the press conference? Yeah, he stepped lightly off that stage. in a straight, flat fashion.
Oh, I mean, like, he's screwed. But when they said Travis Kelce he's questionable for the game.
Some of that is devious shit, though.
I think it's devious, but the thing is it's like, is that also brazen that you think that you're going to be in the Super Bowl, so you're going to show yourself as questionable to where it's like, hey, I really don't need to play? But that's the
He's
number.
Stupid if he thinks he doesn't need to play.
Yeah.
And that's not even just on the Bengals. That's on Patrick Mahomes being hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're stupid if you think you don't need to
That's
play.
the number one duo. And I was like, saying even if their backup, like, obviously their backup is a seasoned quarterback, but that's do they have the same connection as Mahomes and Kelce does? I don't think so.
No, he's not going to have a connection with anybody just because Pat takes all the first season. And I guarantee you he got a few reps this week, though.
Oh, yeah. So
since he is coming after that motherfucker.
Yeah, that's why I said I think the Bengals, like, they smell blood in the water. They're going to chop block the living shit out of that dude.
And we talked about it too, like, because I don't know if you noticed, but I've been watching some videos or whatever, and like they're talking about it's no longer Arrowhead.
Mm-hmm.
It is now Burrowhead.
Burrowhead?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And so, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's like, oh, they're putting out too much information. Like, they're talking too much shit. You know what I mean? Like, the Bengals are talking too much shit, blah, 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 blah. And, like, they're giving them bulletin board material.
Right.
Let me ask you something, you overpaid, stupid son bitches. Somebody had to say something stupid like, this is Burrowhead? For you to actually be like, no, now we're going to play, dog. Now we're going to play.
Now we're pissed off.
Going to the Super Bowl wasn't enough. Like, no, that's no big deal right there. Super Bowl, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he said, what, this Burrowhead? How dare they? Like, what is wrong with you people, man? Like, show up to work. We show up to work every day.
Yeah.
Show up to work and work hard. You know what I mean? Like, good God, like, bulletin board material is garbage. If you need that to be fucking motivated, you suck. And kudos to fucking Cincinnati for talking that shit too.
Oh yeah. So I think we're gonna be done with the Facebook just because it's anyway.
It could just be you.
But so who do you see? I picked Bengals. I see the Bengals pulling it out.
It's a tough one. I mean, the Chiefs have everything to play for right now. So they have to come out as dogs. You know what I mean? Like, they cannot hesitate. They have to come out as dogs at the end of the day. Otherwise, they are in trouble. Because this is what, like, big thing is, I do not think Joe Burrow is as talented or as good as Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like, I think Patrick Mahomes is a way more talented quarterback. But what Joe Burrow brings, and it's the same thing that I said about the kicker dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you carry that attitude with you, you know what I mean? Like, to where it's just like, this is no big deal. You know what I mean? Like, Joe Burrow was acting like he's been there before. You know what I mean? Like, he did it last year too, right? Like, yeah, this is what I do. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that level of, you know what I mean? Like, confidence. And that confidence applies to the rest of the team, which is what makes them feel comfortable to talk that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and so it's hard. Like, his injury, the Chiefs have everything to play for. They're playing at home. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just it's a tough game to call, but I'm going Cincy because I want to see Cincy win. Like, I want to see that. Before we get to the next deal, I would like to see them win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, just want that to be known. Put that out there. I'm not saying I'm picking them to win the Super Bowl, even if they win this weekend. I'm just saying it's a good story.
From what everybody is saying on a lot of the sports reviews and everything like that, the winner of the NFC, essentially the NFC Championship game, is the Super Bowl. Whoever wins,
I think the Cincy game. I think Cincy Chiefs is going to be a better game than that.
I don't know. I think that you're talking about the number one offense in points per game going against the number one defense on points allowed per game.
And that's where it just got boring. I mean, like, it's going to be a low scoring game.
I think it's going to be a high scoring game.
I think it'll be low.
Because, I mean, I think that one, and also we obviously know Jalen Hurts is going to go off. But the thing is, I'm be kind of interested to how he's going to be able to play against the Niners.
Is he though? I mean, like, because this is where it doesn't, like, this is where the AFC right now is fine. You know what I mean? Like, this is where the NFC is in a minor bit of trouble. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean trouble as like, oh my gosh, these are two dudes in a big situation that have never been there before. You know what I mean? Like, and so does that get to their head? You know what I mean? Like, because that's what gets most people. Like, people say, oh, Patrick Mahomes had a meltdown last year. That's why Cincy won. No, you're trying to do too much. You know what I mean? Like, and then when you try to do too much, you call it a phase out. Like, it's the same as a student, right? Like, you're trying to do too much. So why are you doing so much when, you know what I mean? Like, it comes out to the factor of, I just had to execute what I'd done. You know what I mean? Like, the whole time. But then little something goes wrong, happens to Dak all the time. You're trying to overcompensate for whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, and it's stupid. So that's where they're going to be. That's where I think that game is going to get a little wonky.
I think it's going to be an awesome game to watch. I see the Niners pulling it out. The Niners are a 1 point favorite. So I think it's going to be a damn close game. I think it's going to come down to the wire, and I think that the Niners. I think the Niners pull it out. I think that the Niners end up winning it because the thing is, Purdy's Purdy.
Purdy has nothing to lose.
This is correct. And I think this is Kyle Shanahan's time.
Well, and you can say that too, but Kyle Shanahan is also the dude who let Tom Brady come back from a 28-3 deficit at halftime in the Super Bowl once.
Is that's like saying that
dude, you don't throw the fucking ball in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, because
like you don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you run the ball so you can run the clock. You don't throw an incomplete pass to stop the clock and give Tom Brady more time to play. I
mean, because heck, Tom Brady is like the football Jesus. So you're expecting like not to perform miracles?
But it's this, and this is where it comes into. This is where Purdy has a better opportunity than Jalen Hurts. There's things on Jalen Hurts' plate. You know what I mean? Like, you have a reputation that you need to live up to in this fucking game, dude.
Right.
Purdy has nothing. Like, dude, you're not even supposed to fucking be here.
Purdy,
you know what I mean?
Like, from everything,
you were the last pick in the fucking draft. Yeah. You were not even supposed to be. This dude has a roommate. That's how much his life sucked before he got to where he was. So, but he has nothing to lose out of this. And Jalen Hurts has a lot to lose.
Yeah.
And that's just reputation wise.
I think that Purdy, because obviously from what he's seeing, from what he's doing in the locker room, he's a leader, but they're even surprised that he's a leader as a rookie. I've never seen a rookie go off the way that he has in the last 11 games.
If he can carry himself in the same attitude of it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, because that's where he is. Like, hey, I'm just living for the moment. You know what I mean? Like, I was the last pick in the draft on this, on that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just happy to be here. You know what I mean? Like, other people have the Jalen Hurts has a expectation out of him. Like, bro, you're supposed to be, you're a finalist for, you know what I mean? Like, MVP. You're this, you're that. You know what I mean? Like, you have something to live up to. Purdy's just like, I'm lucky to be here. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody thinks it's not Purdy, that it's Shanahan's offense, right? Like, they don't even believe that you're talented. They believe that Shanahan's offense is a plug and play. I can take any quarterback and put him in there.
If that was the case, Jimmy would have been a lot more successful in the first few games.
Right. If that was the case, why didn't you go get somebody like you know what I mean? Like, why did you pay Jimmy? Why did you go get Trey Lance? Why did you go? But see what I'm saying? Like, if this offense is so plug and play, why did they have to give up all those draft picks to go get Trey Lance at the third pick?
Right.
You didn't need that. I can just take any quarterback, like the dude at the end of the draft, you know what I mean? Like, and plug him in and go. So now, do as much as a guru and intelligence that we think he has, doesn't that make them kind of retarded? Fuck. You know what I mean? Like, you can't cut this cloth. Like, I believe Purdy is talented, right? It's not just a matter of, don't forget, Brady came out of the 6th round, and we look at him as one of the most, You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
accomplished in high-end, greatest quarterback of all time type shit.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and he came out in like the 6th round of the fucking draft. So these dudes are down there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just whether or not they ever get the opportunity to prove that they are, because you got to go to a better school. You got to get more recognition.
Yeah.
ESPN says your name all the fucking time. That doesn't make you fucking talented.
Well, see, so
that just makes you in a good predicament for people to know that.
Well, see, the thing is too is like with Trey Lance, I didn't believe any of the hype of what he had, because the thing is, you can't have hype being from North Dakota. You can't have that. Like, there's no like, who the fuck you been playing? Canada? There's like you don't have. I never understood like why they talked about him so fucking big. Purdy at least came from Iowa.
I think so.
So I mean, you came from an actual reputable school when it came to football.
But it's not even just. You know what I mean? Like, you got drafted where you should have been drafted. Maybe we can put Purdy with everything that he's shown. You could put Purdy somewhere within the 4th to 7th round.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a fair place to place him. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, not to say that he's not talented, not to say, but because you went to, and that's the problem with some of the colleges, the way you look at it. When you look at, you know what I mean? Like, they're not getting the recognition that they should get or get the scene. You know what I mean? Like, how many kids could ball in your hometown? You know what I mean? Like, that could possibly be in the NFL, because you live in a town that nobody goes and visits. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He's never going to get an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, because he's got to go extra miles and do all this extra shit. You know what I mean? For that opportunity, they should do what the Eagles did that year, man, and have tryouts every year.
We'll go ahead. This Russell said Kansas and Kentucky. Ain't no one talking about basketball. Ain't nobody talking about basketball right now. We talking about that football. Like, we need to.
What is he today? Cornbread.
He can finally change his fucking name. I told him, I was like, unapologetic, gonna be real happy that he doesn't have to say freaking, what was the crap? What was it? The fucking shit he kept calling himself? Jack me off. Yeah. Oh, he's gonna be real happy that he don't got to say jack me off no more.
He going back. Especially now that you said that, he's gonna go back to that.
Trey Lance played good in that level of college. Yeah, but that level of college wasn't necessarily very high. So I mean, with Lance, I think that Lance, obviously with him being hurt.
But when you play it, because I don't know if you've seen it, Jalen Hurts and Purdy have played already in college. They played against each other in college. I don't follow college, so I don't know. But there was a picture of them. They played in some sort of game against each other.
Maybe it was a Senior Bowl.
And so, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what, like, if he played at a high level at that, like, he's just beating people. Like, that team was just beating people. At some point, you have to believe the talent is just outweighed where we are, right? It's not a matter, like, this dude has to have some ability, because there was quarterbacks that came before him that are not doing what he was doing. So that does put a level of talent. And it's just how recruiting works is just weird to me, man. Like, you don't go, that's where basketball thrives. You know what I mean? Like, they go overseas, they go here, they go there. Like, there's only one way in the NFL, man, and that's through the draft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, because I don't even think you can walk on to you can't walk on to, you can do a tryout.
You have to have played in college. Like, that is the only way into the NFL.
Not so you can go,
because you could be an undrafted free agent and get phone calls from, hey, we'll bring you in, give you a workout, this and that. But nobody's getting those phone calls unless you've played for some sort of fucking college or something.
Unless they went to they can go to the combine.
I don't know if is the combine open to everybody.
I think
everybody and anybody, or do you get an invite?
Mm-hmm.
I do believe you're invited to the combine.
See, college ball to NFL, go to the SEC for the best chance to go to the NFL. That usually ends up being the case. That in the Big 12. Lance has gotten better. Should change schools before the NFL.
And here's what I'll say about that. Like, there was an interview with Purdy, and he said Lance went and got the first touchdown that he threw. You know what I mean? Like, and so, like, there's something to be said. There's something to be said when you have a teammate that does that. Like, so Trey knows that he's the like, dude, I was drafted to be you. You know what I mean? Like, you're you. And, like, I'm excited for you. Like, that's team camaraderie.
That's a leader, honestly. That's obviously that's that team cohesion. I like that. I like it a lot. So you're saying the Eagles Or you say the Eagles get past the Niners, or you think the Niners get past the Eagles?
I think the Niners pull it out. I think they're going to come at him with a defense that's going to baffle him a little bit. Also, because there's a lot of seasoned vets on here.
Yeah, we have Greenlaw.
You know what I mean? So I think they're going to swap it up off the tape. You know what I mean? Like, so we're not going to show you things that you can see on tape. You know what I mean?
Funga, like that dude's freaking. He's been going off. I mean, you have Nick Bosa, which you can't. Nick Bosa is just a fucking beast coming off the corner. Quan Alexander, you can't count him out. And then you have. What am I forgetting? His freaking.
Right. And it's not just about the talent either, though. It's about, you know what I mean? Like, it's about the experience. Like, because people forget, man, like, the Patriots would run plays in the banquet hall Saturday before the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, you know what? We just thought of this. And they go down to the banquet hall and do walkthroughs of the fucking play the day before the fucking Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, so there's things they're going to do. Like, and when you have a team that is commodity, like your team is like the defense has been together for a little bit. So when you have teams like that, they know how to feed off of each other, play off of each other, and we can swap things out quickly because, you know what I mean? Like, we understand what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like, so I understand you, like, same thing we do here. Like, I understand you, you understand me. So we know what.
Exactly.
Yeah, I said words.
So in closing, you're saying that the Niners are going over. You think that the Bengals, Niners, Bengals, and then
I saw somebody. I believe it was Timmy said Bengals,
Eagles. So I think Niners, Bengals. I think that's a good one. I want the Niners.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a tough call, bro. This could go either way.
That's a QB that isn't making $75 million a year.
Who? Purdy? Yeah.
So I think there's that drive.
And here's the thing too, though. Like, people want to talk about like Brady's greatness and shit like that. Brady has never really been paid more than like $25 million a year to play quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, he understands like there's a team that has to be built here. You know what I mean? Like, and so, you know what I mean? Like, these quarterbacks that think that they need to be paid all this crazy fucking money and shit. And then you want to cry because you don't have an offensive line or somebody to throw the ball to.
These are facts.
Like, they're saying they need to pay Lamar and they need to get him help. I can't afford to do both, motherfucker.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
you get some cheap ass linemen or you get a really good quarterback.
If you deserve $250 fucking million, you should be able to throw that ball to fucking anybody, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because that's what makes Brady Brady. Brady made people work.
You shouldn't even need a fucking offensive line. You should be able to
like, dude, like, your whole game is running. Like, what the hell you need an offensive line for? I need somebody to stand in the way for a minute. That's it. Like, hey, block that dude for like 2 seconds, then do like sunshine. You know what I mean? Like, from whatchamacallit? That's
from
Remember the Titans. Let them through. You know what I mean? Like, give them a little dippy dip. You know what I mean? Like, and be on your fucking way. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not gonna. It's nuts. And like, y'all make way too much money to be crying like that. And again, if you need the bulletin board material to play well, you suck.
Well, let's say I get it. I can't
motivate yourself.
I gave your reaction because we both had the same reaction. The last play of the Cowboys Niners that the Cowboys fucking did.
Bro,
exactly. What the fuck was that?
What are they doing?
Like, we were both just like,
bro, and I can understand. I can almost understand. You know what I mean? Like, where you're going, but not to put a fat dude in front of Dak was stupid.
I understand that what they were going to do was they did that quick little pass across the middle, and they were not intending that the Niners would hit him as soon as he fucking caught it, but it was going to be like a lateral.
How did you not? Like, you didn't even send anybody out to block him. Like, so they had all the dudes in the corner over here, that one guy right here, Zeke hiking the fucking ball. You know what I mean? Like, to Dak, and all these other people over here off in the corner. So this guy comes right out here all by him lonesome. You know what I mean? Like, with nobody within like 5 yards of him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, well, you didn't send somebody that like out in front of him so he could catch that lateral back to TY who runs over this way and then I see where you're trying to go to get it back over here to get, you know what I mean? Like, and slowly work your way down the fucking field. But bro, you botched the shit out of this. So I don't know if that's just poor game planning, but I've seen Dak make piss poor decisions too. So I don't know if Dak threw it to the wrong motherfucker. No. I don't know what they're doing. But it was a bad one.
You know how you combat that? A man-to-man offense. Like, it's like and that's exactly what they did. They went man-to-man and they done.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you sent this guy. Your idea was to
send man-to-man defense.
Send the guy to the middle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, with nobody else around him. knowing that, okay, we're baffled. You cover him, you cover him, you cover him, you cover him. You know what I mean? Like, you got to know this man-to-man is coming. You know what I mean? Like, because you lined up, you don't have anybody to block that.
Timmy Kerber says just count out 5 Mississippi. So yeah, I bet you
they're going to go for a rule change next year. Cowboys go, hey, when we line up like this, it's got to be 5 Mississippi.
No rushing. No rushing.
7 Mississippi.
But anyway, last thoughts on it. Does Brady come back, and if so, where does he go? I think if he comes back, I think he's gonna either go to the Niners or the Raiders.
I think he stays in Tampa.
You think he stays in Tampa?
If he goes anywhere, it's possibly if he goes anywhere, because the opportunity. Because at first the question became like, there's no way they were going to do it, but the door opened itself through this past year for him to go back to Miami. So the door opened. Because at first, like, there was no way. Like, Tua was playing so well, you couldn't go and replace. You know what I mean? Like, but then it happened. You know what I mean? Like, and so that puts him at a high risk. Like, people are questioning whether or not Tua even comes back to play football. You know what I mean? Like, there's a real conversation to be had around that. Yeah. So, but they.
Timmy said, I heard he was going to stay in Tampa.
That's what I believe. I believe he's going to stay in Tampa. Because you already,
I don't know if
you already have, like, how many more? So the question
he has Mike Evans, but I don't think he's really getting along with that coach.
The question then becomes, right? How much longer do you think Tom Brady plays?
1 more year.
So you're going to go to a team for a year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, so you got to set
anywhere the offense. He goes, it's going to be a 1 year. It's going to be a 1 year contract.
But like the Raiders' offensive line sucks. You know what I mean? Like, they have controversy of their own. You know what I mean? Like, so because
you don't think that strategy? You don't think that strategy that they freaking vacated Derek Carr's position?
But here's the thing: like I asked you last time why this is Derek Carr a $40 million quarterback?
No,
that's what they owe him next year. You know what I mean? Like, so do we cut bait and run, or you know what I mean? Like, do we just keep him? Like, you're at that point. You know what I mean? Like, so I understand it's 9 years. He gave 9 years. He did this. He did that. But are you satisfied? Like, so, okay.
I think
Carr has been with you for 9 years. You're going to keep him another 9 just because he's been with you? Like, you're not winning. Like, and you could blame McDaniels for that. You could blame a lot of things. But Carr isn't his quarterback either. You know what I mean? Right. Like, so, like, when a new coach comes in.
Raiders will get Brady killed.
And that's like they don't have.
That's probably what a lot of people want to have see happen. So, like, go to the Raiders.
They don't have an offensive line. They have a running back and a wide receiver that are questionable that even want to be there anymore. Mm-hmm. So you're walking into a temperament. You know what I mean? Like, is Brady enough for Devontae Adams to be like, you know what? You're right. I'll just stick it out. I'm not going to be that mad anymore because you brought in Brady. I don't think that's going to.
That's where he cements himself. You go into a fucking location that has no real offense or no wide receiver core, you build that team up within a year and then get to a Super Bowl and win it. There's your certification as the GOAT.
But brother, he's already done that. He did that in Tampa.
Right. Let's say do it again.
But it comes into, you know what I mean? Like, because you have to get people to buy in. Mm-hmm. So you have to imagine that Adams is pissed.
Right.
So you take out Adams. This Jacobs dude is an unsigned free. Like, he's unsigned right now.
Right.
Get rid of him. Now what? Now where are you going to go? Now what are you going to do? Yeah. Now what are you going to – you know what I mean? Like, there's just too much that goes on, man, like that. If I'm only playing another year, why would I not stick with what I have? I know where I'm at now. If I leave here, I'm running into another adventure. Right. You know what I mean? Like, Tampa has a way better ownership than the Raiders do.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the same with everybody saying, like, hey, the Bengals might need to get it done because are the Bengals going to pay Joe Burrow? Are the Bengals going to pay Jamar Chase? You know what I mean? Like, this is a franchise that don't pay people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a franchise that's used to sucking because they chose to suck. You know what I mean? Like, so, but they said they sold the stadium. You know what I mean? Like, didn't sell it, but, right. You know what I mean? Like, fucking put a name on the side of the stadium, which hasn't been there forever. So I guess they're prepping to pay Joe and Jamar.
This can be a great value stadium.
No, that's my eye.
Yeah, sure. So this will be the last thought on here. All I know is Carr's played good until the Patriot way showed up. I would get rid of the coach and bring back Gruden. They're not going to bring back Gruden for a third
Gruden's
time.
never coming back.
He's not coming back for a third time, nor do I think that Gruden wants to come back for a third time.
Well,
when Al Davis died, I think that's where Gruden's last little that was his last little link with Al Davis.
I don't think he's mad at I don't think he's mad at the Raiders. You know what I mean? Like, so I think if Gruden was going to coach again, he wouldn't have a problem coaching at the Raiders because the Raiders aren't what put him in the position that he's in. You know what I mean? Like, from my understanding, from like sources where these emails came from, which Dan Schneider.
Emails.
You know what I mean? Like, because that's the only reason why he's not there is because the emails.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you take the emails out, and again, I'm not smashing Carr. I think Carr is a great quarterback, but the question becomes like, how happy are you? Like, he plays well, but how far has he taken you? Right. You know what I mean? Like, and we could say Gruden was a better coach. Cool. Still didn't really make the playoffs, and if he did, he didn't go far. You know what I mean? Like, still didn't. So at what point do we put it on him? Right. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying the Patriot way is the way and all this other good shit. I'm far from saying McDaniels is a great coach. You know what I mean? Like, but at some point, something has to change. Like, I would I would have never paid Zach. You know what I mean? Like, I would have never paid Tony. I would have never, there's a certain amount I'm willing to pay you, bro. And if you don't want it, there's the door. I would have told that to Lamar last year. You know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to pay you $150 million guaranteed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to pay $200 with $150 guaranteed. Oh, well, I'm worth what Deshaun got. Cool. Go get what Deshaun got. Go get it somewhere else. Because you're going to play for a team you don't want to play for. Come down here and play for us. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Lamar. Come play for Houston. Well, I don't want to go to no Houston. Then shut the fuck up. Because we would pay you that money. Look who paid the other dude.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, and we paid Deshaun $100 million. Stupid ass.
Before Justin goes off, we'll go ahead and end it on that one. He said Gruden's pissed off the NFL. Yeah, I think he is too.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. The NFL will never let him back.
No. But
he's not broadcasting or coaching.
That was FUBAR Friday for this week. We're gonna see how depressed Primetime Fitz is, or how happy he is on the next FUBAR, and then we will know.
I might be here by myself next week.
There's a good chance.
There's a chance.
But anyway, we're gonna be out of here, guys. Hope you guys have a good weekend and stay safe out there.